Hey, I'm Nay, and this is Hey Nay. Um, my guest star for today is Matthew. Matthew, say hi.
Hello.
Um, as usual, Matthew does not know what the topic is. My guest star never knows what the topic is, so he doesn't even know what the questions are going to be about. And this is, of course, to give some real answers and unrehearsed answers. Cool. So let's get started. So the topic for our discussion is your partner's friends. What do you think about that when I say that?
Um, think about there's a couple types of friends in that realm of possibility.
Okay.
Um, it's not a sort of make or break thing, but it's like a I don't I don't I don't know. It can go a lot of different ways. There can be annoying friends. There could be cool friends, and granted, you accept all of them for who they are. There's some that just kind of are more shaky than others.
Yeah, no, I agree. Um, I think when you kind of like you can like any of them.
Yeah, of
You
course.
could be you could be close to some of them. But I don't know. I think it's something that every relationship has to face. Cool.
Absolutely.
Um, do you feel like your partner's friends inherently become your own friends?
No, I feel like that's up to the discretion of your partner themselves. They're constantly bringing you around with their friends. For one thing, it can get annoying with the whole idea of more or less free time. I mean, rather alone time with one another. But yeah,
Yeah, so you mean like you cannot necessarily you're like never alone.
yeah,
Essentially, what you're
yeah.
saying. I mean, I agree. I think it doesn't necessarily mean that they're your friends, but I mean, I think that
There
they,
needs to be some sort of benevolence.
yeah, there needs to be, yeah, exactly. Even though they might, sort of see you as a friend, but I don't know. I think that's something that you have to really, really, like you said, talk with your partner about.
Right.
What if your partner's best friend does not like you?
Too bad.
Too bad.
I mean, that's again, it's usually not, in my opinion, something that I am responsible for changing. I am who I am.
Interesting.
Um, if it's that much of a difference, sit down, settle the differences that there may be. But
What if your partner's best friend has a huge impact on your partner?
then it's kind of on them as opposed to on me.
So you're completely out of this, pretty much. You have.
Yeah, I mean, I can't change who I am.
I mean, I'm not saying to change who you
Oh
are.
yeah,
But
I
like,
know.
if
But
they like, if they don't like you, like,
I mean, what am I supposed to do? What would you do in that situation?
I mean, I guess I'm definitely a little different, but I think I would try to figure out the reason why. I think the reason would determine whether or not I'll do something like you, which will be like nothing, or I would figure out the situation. So, like, if the reason why you don't like me is because, you know, um, you know, like I spend a lot of time with her, then like whatever. But if the reason you don't like me is because, um, you know, um, you feel that I did something wrong to her, then I would like to hear what you have to say. I would be curious to see what exactly did I do wrong,
Okay,
in your eyes.
I see that.
Because sometimes there's nothing too, like in relationships, um, sometimes everything's not fully disclosed between both partners. So that's something that they might tell their best friend, but they may not necessarily tell you.
Yeah.
So if that person has some insight into your relationship, that I think you should be aware about it.
Okay, I see that definitely.
Um, what if your partner's best friend likes you too much?
Um,
So like you in the party, whatever, y'all hanging out, and then she comes over you and everything, and then she's like dancing around you, on you, and then she's like touchy feely kind of thing, and
I think at first, you have to field it in kind of like a, not necessarily like get away from me sort of way,
Yeah, I get what
Like,
you're saying.
you want to be friendly per se, but just have that line in your head, and once it gets close to it, start throwing some red flags, and then once
Give me an example of a red flag. Exactly.
I mean, just like getting too close to you, like you said, touchy feely, like to a point, sure, that's okay, but if it's like touchy feely, then it's like back off.
Yeah, I know like dancing and everything is sometimes okay with dancing with you could dance with my friend kind of thing. I know some some girls are okay with that. But like, what if like you know the person likes you a lot, like the best friend of your partner likes you a lot,
Hmm.
but your partner doesn't necessarily care.
Doesn't care that they like me that much.
Hmm.
I think it would be something that I would express discomfort about. Um, First to, well, if it's like in the situation, kind of um, disattach myself from that situation first, and then bring it up to my partner later and say like, hey, this was happening. It doesn't make me comfortable. Do you think you should talk to them or I should talk to them? Just have a discussion of that first.
Do you think it matters whether or not you're in a semi-serious relationship or in a serious relationship? So semi will be like somewhere between 3 months to 6 months, and then 6 months, and then serious would be 6 months plus.
No, I mean, if you're in it, you're in it. I mean, it shouldn't, in my opinion, affect like how I would handle a situation where their friend is coming on to me.
Interesting. I feel one, I'll be flattered. Let's just address that. I will think that
Of course,
obviously you have good taste.
of course.
But I think, like you said, I think there would be a certain point in which I would hope that that person wouldn't cross. I would hope that that wouldn't happen.
Right.
Um, and I don't know. I think it might depend on a little bit the longevity of the relationship.
Hmm.
I feel like the longer you're together, the longer, I mean, the more, well, the longer you're in a relationship, I think the more, well, I guess, like always, it depends on your relationship, but like, for me, I guess I would say, the longer I'm in a relationship, with this girl or whatever, I think that I feel like I would hope that she would be more okay with that person being, you know what I mean? She would trust me enough
Right.
in the
Okay.
sense that she would know I would never cross
I see what
that
you're saying.
line, or I would not allow.
Well, then maybe in that situation, the line kind of draws back a little bit. Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to say like allow more per se, but
I
like
hear you saying. Yeah.
yeah.
Are the friends your partner keeps a reflection of them?
Yeah, definitely.
You would say so.
Yeah. Um, I mean, and not just that. That's really drawing upon, who I am as opposed to like, anything else. Yeah, I am somewhat a reflection of my friends. I mean, in one way or another. Granted, sure, I'm my own independent person. There's some sort of reflection there.
Yeah.
And I'd say the same goes for a lot of other people. In any situation I can think of.
Okay, so if your partner, right, has like these very weird friends,
Yeah.
what do you think that says about your partner?
It could definitely say that there's a weird side there, and not to say that that's a bad thing. I mean, being weird, it can be, it could be a good thing.
How so, Matthew?
Well, it just it adds excitement. Like, you don't want someone who's that normal. Like, that's boring.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, sure, there's weird people, and that like weird to the point where like you can't tolerate them. Sure, but like, I don't know, a little bit of weirdness, it can spice things up. It can makes more of a wild card. Makes it a little bit more exciting, I guess.
I mean,
And-
I feel like that. I don't know. I feel that.
I feel like weird is a very like broad term, right? So there can be good weird, and then there can, in my opinion, and then there can be like inherently bad weird. And if someone is like
Like
associating with like,
a bad weird.
yeah, like I can't think of an example. I don't know, like sure this is extreme, but like you and your friends love to like go out and like I don't know murder people. That's extreme.
That is very extreme.
That's very extreme, but you know what? That's weird to me. And granted, there are other bad weirds. You know, there's a good weird, like you like to mess around and like you like to have fun. I don't know. That's okay to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do agree that, you know, um, like my friends are a reflection of myself.
Yeah.
But I mean, if my partner has a lot of weird friends, I'll be like, oh, what's going on here? Like, am I missing something? You know, I feel like I would probably see I'll try to get to know my partner a little bit more.
Right.
I would say, I feel like I would have to really acknowledge that maybe I don't know my partner as well as I thought.
Okay, so you're saying like you don't know that your partner has that weird side to her.
Yeah, or just I don't know my partner that much at all.
Okay.
And I think that's something to really think about.
Yeah.
But like you said, if the friend is like a murderer or something, that's the end of the relationship for
Yeah.
me. I'm done.
Yeah.
After that, I don't think.
There are a bunch of different types of weirds.
Do you think a friend of your partner can break up a relationship? Can break up your relationship?
I'd say it's possible. You know, there's something to like a group of people talking to like your friends your partner's friends came before you did, right? So inherently they're gonna have a lot of say in his or her life. So not to say that the friends can break it completely, but they could definitely, you know, they can definitely have some impact in terms of like getting you to think about things, you know, like getting you to really ponder what's going down.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree. I think friends can have an impact. I definitely, and I think that's why I think that's why it's kind of important to form some sort of relationship with your partner's friends.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily have to be so much that you guys are very close as friends, but you should have some sort of, at least, you know, it should be cordial or acquaintances in that sense, in which, you know, you're around each other and you're comfortable around each other.
Right.
And I think that works to your benefit, because then, you know, if the friends like you, then it's like, okay, yeah, like I think I made a good choice this time. Yeah,
Putting in a good word for you.
Putting a good word for you, exactly. But yeah, I mean, friends have power. They do have power. I think they have like a secret power in a sense that a lot of people don't really think about. I bet you a lot of people have been in relationships that have broken up and don't even know that friends were an influence. You know, and I think that's interesting to really think about. But I mean, I would hope that's, you know, not too much of the case. I would hope that anyone who breaks up with anyone, it's their choice. You know,
right.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it's their choice.
Yeah.
You know. But that's it. Do you have anything else to say on the topic of friends of partners or your partner?
I mean, I feel like everything was more or less covered. I mean, that the last point you made was a very big one in my opinion. You know, that there is some influence on the relationship coming from them, and you should establish that cordiality.
Yeah.
That's very important. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I would like to thank Matthew for joining me on Hey Nay. And remember, you start your day off with a hey. Bye.